Hey there! Today I'm going to share a bit of my story, how I got started in the world of independent adjusting. So, just a little bit of background. I have an undergraduate degree in communications and graduate degree in human services. I'm also a certified wellness coach and fitness instructor. My prior work experience consists of community development, social services, and sales. So, how did I get from where I started to independent adjusting? Well, it's been quite the journey. So, let's go back to the beginning. Back in 2016, one of my husband's good friends told us about a new opportunity that paid really well with little upfront training and cost to get started. But honestly, what he was saying was all a blur because as he was talking, I felt like I was listening to one of those Charlie Brown characters, the cartoon from back in the day. I know I'm dating myself right now, but it sounded like wah, 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 wah. Neither my husband nor I really grasped at that time what he was actually talking about. Until about a year later, my husband's nephew mentioned an opportunity where he received an emergency license to work a hurricane with little training but made a lot of money in a short period of time, which at that point got me and my husband's attention. We soon realized it was the exact same opportunity that was shared with us a year prior, but for some reason this time around, we were intrigued. My husband's nephew took us to meet the team who trained him, and we soon signed up to take their class to get licensed. We were still both totally clueless though. I had no idea what an adjuster was, and on that first day of training, we were asked if we were interested in desk or field adjusting. I didn't know how to answer that because I didn't know what either of those terms meant. We were soon covering information that was foreign to me, and I was just pretty much going through the motions, memorizing information simply to pass the test without really knowing what it meant. As the training grew to a close, we went on a field trip to inspect the interior of a vacant home. And at that time, I still didn't know what I was doing or what I was looking for since that really wasn't covered in class. You see, I was truly brand new to the industry. I didn't have a construction background, a real estate background, or any background to do with properties or automobiles like some of the others did in class. Which is why I created this channel and wrote my resource guide, Introduction to Independent Adjusting, a beginner's guide on how to get started, get assignments, and get paid. Because at times I felt lost or like more explanation should have been provided, especially for those new to the field like myself. I felt like there were so many gaps in the training for beginners like me, and I know how overwhelming that can feel. So I wanted to provide a resource for others to help fill in those gaps. God has blessed me with the ability, thankfully, to retain information. So even though I didn't completely understand what was being taught, I memorized what was needed to pass the licensing exam and obtain my adjuster license. God has also created me to be a very driven person. And when I have my mind set on doing something, most of the time I keep on until that something is achieved. I did everything I was told to try to get work right away. After completing the training, I was provided with a resume, which was included in the training package, but most of what they put on it I didn't even understand. So I revamped it to make sense to me, using the training and skills I've gained over the years in other fields that could carry over into this one while also emphasizing what I learned in this training. I also started researching information online and studying insurance related material to help familiarize myself more with the adjusting field. Now, after getting my official adjuster license to show I was now ready to start working and making the money I kept hearing about, I assumed the doors would open wide for me to get assignments, but they didn't. So I continued to work my primary job for the next almost 6 months until I was laid off due to reorganization within that company. However, during those 6 months, I registered with the top independent adjusting firms, I should say. I called them weekly to let them know I was ready to work and continued to familiarize myself with the industry. And right when I got laid off, God opened that door for me to get my first assignment with a major carrier. He's so good. At the time, I was living in Houston and the assignment was in San Antonio. I did decide to make the move and accept the assignment, which was 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, just like a regular 9 to 5 with weekends off and no overtime, paying $25 an hour, which was definitely less than what I was used to earning. But I didn't care because I needed firsthand experience to help me grow in this field. Please understand, this is not the typical pay for an independent adjuster, and this was the only time in my career as an IA, which stands for independent adjuster, that I have ever earned this little. But once again, I accepted the assignment to gain much needed experience, which ultimately paid off. Oh my goodness, I can remember how nervous I was on my first day, but I was also excited and ready to jump in and get started. My supervisor actually took me to lunch that day and asked me if I had experience. And I answered truthfully. I said no and thought she might send me home, but thankfully she did not. I was able to observe and learn from seasoned adjusters who were so extremely generous with their knowledge. You know, it's okay to admit what you don't know. If I would have pretended to know more, I probably wouldn't have had the chance to learn from others, would have ended up mishandling claims, and eventually let go prematurely. That first assignment was an uncommon place to start because it was handling claims on the back end as a supplement adjuster. And I'll get more into the different types of adjusting on another video, but that assignment was perfect for me. I learned so much about property adjusting, what a claim looks like after having gone through the initial claims process, and the importance of strong customer service, which plays a major role in obtaining and maintaining work. So I'm very thankful for where I started. God's favor is real, and I am thankful that He opened the right doors for me at the right time, and almost 7 years later, still working things out for my good. So, that's my journey into independent adjusting. If you're just starting out, don't worry if it feels overwhelming. I've certainly been there. Just remember to embrace the lessons, celebrate your victories, and persevere through difficulties. And if you found this helpful, feel free to check out my guide, Introduction to Independent Adjusting, at www.adjusterlife.com for more tips on getting started, getting assignments, and getting paid. Thank you for watching.